All right, welcome. Woo, we got the extra zoom on this map, but welcome to Island 8. This is 8 players grouped in teams of 2. And kicking it off in one of our northern position, playing the screen, this is JUDpowr. He's got his own clan, it seems. Actually, this might be an 8. No, this isn't an 8-player FFA. I assume his teammate, this is Outlaw number 1. Good old Night Trucker on Twitch. In the north, this is the yellow. This is 70s playing Marked of Kane. Playing the cyan, it's LoginBugZero. Playing the Traveler 59. Playing the blue screen, it's Zanuck. Playing the pink Zocom, the only non-scrin or non-nod player. This is Shrapnel. Meanwhile, perhaps our last team, this is David, playing the red scrin. And playing the orange Marked of Kane, it's Arthuro. Now, this is not a map that we see very much. This is a little bit of an awkward map in terms of how everything is laid out, partially because it drives all ground units into the middle of the map. As you can see, there are these bridges. It's pretty narrow to get into each of the double bases, and I assume it is blue and pink, red and orange, green and purple, and then yellow and cyan. There are no team colors in this case. Engineer is going to be getting sniped. There are 4 tib spikes in the middle of the map, and then there are 2 more tib spikes, so 1 per player, kind of split up. There is quite a lot of tib spikes overall, and what actually killed those buzzers? I'm not actually sure. It almost looked like the MCV was crushing them. However, you do start with blue Tiberium, so that is something to note. That's why you did see a crane opener from Shrapnel, because you start with blue Tiberium right there at the beginning. And there's another version of a map very similar to this. Oh, there's 2 more tib spikes inside of your base that has blue tib in the middle, and then you've got like 3 green fields in here as well. And I'm just realizing how bizarre this map is in terms of income. So getting these middle Tiberium spikes is quite important, which is why you see the MCV move to the middle of the map for Shrapnel. And we do have a very awkward situation where you start off with a ton of cash. And I assume these are like pretty fast-growing blue Tiberium fields, but you're still going to burn through that cash very quickly with the double income of blue Tiberium. And then you are just in a massive ground war, or you head out over the water in all of this dead airspace that will allow you to escape the ground war mayhem in the middle. And a big thanks to Pekman, who subscribed with Prime. At the current rate, 1 sub is basically half a game. 2 subs for 1 game to get added to the total for the subathon. And that means that we have 3.5 games remaining. No. All right, let's reset it. Oh no, trying to update the overlay broke the game. As that's what happens, Pakeman. Try to update things in the middle of the game, and then stuff just gets busted. All right, now we're back in business. Shrapnel taking over the middle of the map. Massive stealth fields as well. This is one of those things where when you have teams like this where one player has stealth and then they just blanket your entire quadrant of the map in stealth generators, you can just see basically nothing there if you fly over, unless you've got some nice stealth detection packed along with you. Predator tanks in the middle of the map. Most players sitting well above 10k per minute. Shrapnel is the only one down at 10k per minute. Everyone else is at like 15, 16k per minute. Just absolutely massive income off of this blue Tiberium. And David, zeroing out his bank account. He's harvested 61,000 credits worth of resources, but he has zeroed out his bank account. MCV unpacking in the middle. I think this is going to be a juggernaut game from the... Oh no, the one GDI player doesn't have juggernauts. Shrapnel playing Zocom. I was just thinking this would be a great game for juggernauts, but no railguns, no juggernauts for Shrapnel. Well, Predator tanks still do a pretty good job, but they can get EMP'd. Not much here to kill the EMP'd units. So it's one thing to EMP some units. It's another thing to actually kill them. Beacon coming in as Zenek is like, hey, why don't you capture that Tib spike, which is just sitting empty. Catalyst missile gets called in. One of the refineries is down. And you may be seeing the Overlord's Wrath crashing down on the map. What it does is it spawns in essentially a little 3x3 grid of Tiberium crystals. And it will sort of grow more Tiberium over time. If you don't totally harvest it down, it does sort of like seed a new Tiberium field. I'm not actually sure how that works, but I believe if you harvest all of the patches, then it dries up, it evaporates. But if you don't harvest all of the patches, it will grow some more Tiberium slowly over time. Eradicator Hexbot out on the front line. Is this guy going to get zipped back out of danger? Because you got to find some kind of way to escape. I think the Corruptors will last a little while, but will they last forever? Planetary Assault Carriers not attacking the Corruptors. They went for the for the Mothership, the drone ship, and now they're going for the Redeemer. And the Eradicator Hexbot standing strong against the Predator tanks. The Corruptors keeping it healed up for now, but now the packs have turned their guns to that Eradicator Hexbot, and that might be lights out for the Eradicator. Although the plasma missile batteries, if they could rank up, they would probably be ranking up after all of these kills. And Overlord's Wrath getting called in. The thing about being in the middle of the map is you do draw attention from all sides. It's low power mode for Shrapnel, who's now going to be getting attacked from 2 different sides, or maybe even 3 different sides, as JUDpowr steps out onto the middle of the map with his Eradicator Hexapod also fighting, but it's going to be a wormhole into the back of the base. Outlaw number 1 has found the unprotected nether region and is thrusting deeply into the back door of the yellow marked of Kane. 70s is going to be needing some additional help to stop the attack. The slow field does slow things down for now, but this is still 4 tripods and an Eradicator Hexapod. They have a ton of firepower that can be brought to bear. Magnetic mines are going to help deal with this. Mind control comes in and turns all of the tripods against their master. LoginBugZero manages to find a way to turn the tides, and not everything gets eliminated. But, well, that's going to be a freeze on the Rift generator for the current time being. But these tripods will eventually be able to kill that Eradicator as long as the EMPs keep landing. As long as... Whoa, the mind control is getting cleaned up here as all of those units get wiped out. And unfortunately for LoginBugZero, he loses all of his tripod control, which means they can continue wreaking havoc in the base of 70s. It's pure madness on Island 8 as these tripods are looking for the infrastructure. What are they even looking for? I thought they were going for the Rift generator, but they just seem to be spreading out and trying to kill whatever they can. There's the blink away as the Eradicator Hexapod manages to escape all the way to the other side of the map. The Planetary Assault Carriers have not been stopped, and it seems like they will not be stopped as the Devastator warships are joining in on the assault. Dutch army rocking up right as we jump into Kane's Wrath away from Red Alert 3. He shows up to watch the stream, but welcome to everyone tuning in to the subscriber replay showcase today. The drone ship will land, but can you stop the army that is at your front door? The answer might just be no. In the middle of the map, Shrapnel is trying to hold the line while Zanuck just tears down base by building, base after base. Drone ship goes down, but that's only the first of the drone ships, and now the disruption towers are the next target. There's the stealth reveal. There's no more hiding from the Skrin Air Armada as the drone ship gets absolutely destroyed, and the Devastator warships are moving their way over. These Devastator warships, I don't know what they're going to do against the Air Armada of Zanuck. I guess send them into the middle of the map, try and cross-map a little bit. Vertigo Bomber is coming in with some bombing runs, and it's going to be double Sonic Emitter to try and hold the line against the Eradicator Hexpod. Triple, quadruple Sonic Emitter, as there's going to be the slow field as well to get the guaranteed kill on that Eradicator Hexpod. Only a couple of buildings left in the main base of LoginBugZero, and the Planetary Assault Carriers are going to try and kill those Devastator warships before they can actually close the distance and do that final bit of damage. Which, with all the dead airspace on this map, the PAX may be the super unit, and everyone who doesn't have PAX may just be at a massive disadvantage. Plasma Missile Battery gets deployed, but the drone ships with the Traveler engine upgrade can just, like, outrun them, apparently. The MCV taking massive damage. The drone ships stop in range of that Plasma Missile Battery, and they all go down. LoginBugZero has been defeated. Those Tib spikes become Tib fields on the ground, and our first team is out. 70s and LoginBugZero cleared out from the top right-hand quadrant of the map. And man, those blue fields regrow crazy fast compared to all other Tib fields on almost all other maps in Kane's Wrath. EMP lands on the Eradicator Hexapod, and we have got ourselves a fight that will just never end. Stasis chambers in the middle. Is someone going to try and leapfrog a catalyst cannon into someone else's base? That's a big rift generator, as it absolutely destroys everything on the ground and in the sky. The rift generator evaporates an entire army's worth of planetary assault carrier drones as the fuel air bomb lands on the Kane. And it's going to be Air Armada versus Air Armada. 1 second until the next rift generator is ready to go. And it's courtesy of Red, so it could be hitting any one of these armies for just absolute maximum devastation. Meanwhile, Red moving out with his own air forces across the southern edge of the map. Shrapnel has been absolutely devastated, and there goes the air army of Zanuck. You fought well, but it just doesn't matter. The instant delete button of the rift generator means that the black hole of space will consume all that is before it. AA batteries in the... they have got a lot of work to do. There's a lot in the sky for that one AA battery. And the Kane gets captured. Ooh, this is an opportunity for a wonderful joining of forces. JUDpowr and Shrapnel going to be kind of united as a team here for perhaps a couple of moments before Shrapnel gets ejected out of this game. And there is also an engineer here. Well, Shrapnel has been defeated, so even more Tiberium spikes are now gone from the map. And that MCV is going to pack back up and head for greener or perhaps bluer pastures. These bases that are empty are ripe for the taking, and Zanuck fought well in the first stage of this game, and he'll be able to fight for a while. But I think this is going to be a losing fight with his ally gone, with his second half no longer here. Who can rescue him from the never-ending storm of the planetary assault carriers? They are coming in from Arthuro and from David, and I think they will not be stopped. Double Eradicator Hexapod, but one of them falls. JUDpowr and Outlaw number 1 are joining forces. Well, I guess they've been already joined forces, but they are taking over the middle of the map. They have moved in and claimed it as their own. Zocom, Skrin, and Skrin. I guess you got a double Skrin team. That is that's a powerful combination, but they're now a Skrin-Zocom team. Between the two of them, they have 3 factions. Zanuck has been defeated, leaving even more Tiberium fields to be claimed. And this blue Tiberium just grows so incredibly quickly. It is amazing to watch it fill back in these abandoned bases. And what is there to see here in the Kane's Wrath corner of the map from the red and the orange team? I don't know. I don't know what they can possibly do versus all this power. 17k per minute from JUDpowr, 20k per minute from Outlaw number 1. That is just an insane amount of cash funneled into one team. Meanwhile, Arthuro is only at 8k per minute, and David is at 15k per minute, which is still very respectable incomes in a normal game. But in this case, it just is not enough to keep up with all the power from Judge and Outlaw. The fight in the air will be perhaps what decides everything. The Planetary assault carriers have turned away from Zanuck's base, and now they are heading for the middle. Who's got the next rift generator? It's less than 2 minutes on the clock for JUDpowr. And the stasis on the ground, I'm not actually sure what that does to Planetary assault carriers. The drones just fighting an endless war against JUDpowr and Outlaw number 1, but they only have to delay for another 90 seconds until the rift generator is online, and then it's nearly 3 minutes until David's rift generator is ready to go. It is pure chaos and insanity. 23k in the bank, 11k in the bank. Outlaw and JUDpowr, they've got the cash, but can they actually spend it? Or is it truly just going to be the delay game until the rift generator is ready? But like, rift generator on this army will delete it in 1 second. That whole thing will just be gone, and then suddenly the Planetary assault carriers on the other side will have a very easy time of taking over the map. So watch out for that 40 seconds until that happens. Supercharged particle beams ready for the Marked of Kane players. And yeah, 30 seconds on the clock. So these Planetary assault carriers are backing up, spreading out. This is the exact plan that they see coming for them. And this means that JUDpowr and Outlaw have bought enough time. Their air army was fearsome to fight against. What just happened? I'm not sure who just... Someone brought something in over here, and it looks like now it's cleaned up, but the army has backed up, and now can they bait out the rift generator use, or are they just going to wait for their own rift generator to be online? This is going to be an insane amount of cash being able to be funneled into the 4 remaining players on this 8-player map. Overlord's Wrath called in. Rift generator 1 minute until the next use. The nuke is also here. I mean, the nuke can be pretty massive. I'm not sure how much the nuke does to air forces. I kind of think the nuke doesn't do a lot to air forces, but it's been a while since I've actually seen a nuke utilized on a massive air army, so I just don't know. It's been so long since I've seen one get called in like that. Rift generator on top of the army. It's not massive. Wow, does it kill stuff all the way over there? It really did not do as much as I thought, but then again, these units were quite a bit spread out as well. 20 seconds until the next rift generator, so Red can start to clump his units again. He can start to bring everything back together. He has 6, 7 Planetary assault carriers way over on the side, Nuke lands, cleans up a tripod on the sky, but yeah, everything in the... or tripod on the ground, but everything in the sky is pretty much fine after that nuke goes off. Ion Storm to help mitigate some of the damage, but I think you need to get your ships back online. Outlaw number 1, Rift Generator fires off. Everything's on the move, and that's more what we were expecting to see. Everything getting clobbered as 8 or 10 planetary assault carriers just disappear. Is this enough firepower to actually wipe out the phase? Because the phase technically is like an armor boost, and at least Spectres. I know Spectres can break through the armor of the phase and can kill a unit while it's phased, but you just need like 2,000 shots to do it. And I'm not sure if planetary assault carriers have the same damage type that can burst through the armor. Those Rift Generators, they were big moments, but they weren't enough. With all of this fire, you really, I guess, need 2 Rift Generators to break through the Ion Storm ability and the shields of these planetary assault carriers. So now the question becomes, can JUDpowr and Outlaw wait? Because they have double Rift Generator, which they can join forces on, but they have to wait another 5 minutes until the second Rift Generator is ready to go. They may be able to stall this out in the middle of the map long enough, or Outlaw may just use his Rift Generator right on this huge cluster. 15 seconds, down to 10. This is a lot of units that are all grouped together, but a lot of them do have shields, and there's Venoms in the middle as well. Rift Generator gets used, the Venoms are evaporated, and on top of all of those planetary assault carriers, the Ion Storm transition was too late, and almost all of them fall. 3 of them low on health, but still alive. 1 falls, and it's the front line broken as David falls apart, and the Rift Generator comes like the Reaper. The perfect emote in chat from Lunac89 to follow up that moment. Absolutely massive, and it's a wormhole as well. It looks like the Mastermind got sniped. Was there really nothing else? 1 Mastermind and that was it? I feel like you needed to send something else, like some tripods or something, through that just to get some kills. But the Mastermind goes through, I think, to cap the Rift Generator or to cap the MCV, and deny one of those things. If you get the Rift Generator, then you get a full reset on the timer of your opponent. You cap it and you sell it immediately, and then they can't recapture it. They can't gain it back, and they have to rebuild it. And in that time, you get the opportunity to use your own at least once before they get to use theirs. Everyone is starting to expand out into these empty bases. Outlaw wasn't the only one who had the idea, but in this case, the problem isn't necessarily cash income per minute. It's more about the production, because even if you have the cash in the bank, you just need to produce so many units to be able to stop this pack army. The planetary assault carriers and the Devastator warships are rocking up to the base, and it might be the end of this little expansion. Although no, he backs off. Outlaw number 1 decides not to commit into the attack. SAM sights plus plasma missile batteries will certainly slow this army down. And if you're just trying to wait out the next round of the Rift Generator, then those might be enough just to slow this down. David has escaped into the back corner. Pretty much all of his packs have gotten out of range of Outlaw number 1. Devastator warships cutting down some of these base defenses. As long as you've got build radius, which I guess is just from these refineries, as long as you've got the build radius, you can deploy so many anti-air defenses. Venom's coming in. A massive swing from the left side as Arthuro and David hope to be able to break this frontline assault. Supercharged particle beam Venoms are definitely good, but can they fly into the Ion Storm as they get absolutely shredded on the front line? The drones may be having a hard time cracking this base with its SAM sites and its plasma missile batteries, but they may not be able to do much versus... The Venoms may not be able to do much versus that Ion Storm. Plasma missile batteries deployed, but they get knocked down as quickly as they get set up. The plasma missile batteries, they're powerful, but, I mean, this is a lot of packs. This is a lot of units to try to overcome. The MCV gets knocked down. David's incredible air forces are still at work. He has not been able to dislodge the army at his front door, and JUDpowr has a mere 15 seconds until his next Rift generator usage, and everything goes into Ion Storm mode early, which does it also give them an armor boost. It heals them up, but it might also give them like a health or armor boost as well. Yeah, it doesn't actually tell you anything about the passive from them activating that. But the Rift generator is here. I guess there's still some good targets. You could also use the Rift generator to try and crack the front door somewhere, or crack the back door. As you open up on their production structures, you try to shut down the power and the gravity stabilizers. Try to shut down the production. As Outlaw #1 steps forward, activates the Ion Storm to try and clear out the Venoms, but he's too late. He activated the Ion Storm, but the Venoms are just shredding his packs, clearing the skies as Arthuro, his ally, may have lost a lot of his production capability, but he has not. Rift generator is ready to strike back for David, but where do you use it? There are so many targets to go for. The Venoms from Arthuro swinging back up to the north. They're going to try and clear out this pack army. Every second that you waste is another second that your opponent's super weapon gets ready to be utilized. Rift generator right on top of the moving army. The Devastator warships go down the packs trying to activate that Ion Storm mode. 2 of them do survive, and some of the stuff on the ground gets busted open. The production silenced for now, but is he just going to spread out and spread out the production? Where are actually the gravity stabilizers? Ah, here they are. I was wondering, because David surely isn't going to be just giving up. 30 seconds until the next Rift generator. A nuke also fired off at some point, but I don't even know that you can notice a nuke going off with all of the other power that is available on this map. These harvesters just continuing to harvest away at massive amounts of blue Tiberium. No accelerator on that field. This is actually a bit of a disadvantage. You should be able to put an accelerator on your allies' field, and you should be able to put accelerators on these fields as well if you need the extra income. I guess David is sitting at 12k in the bank. He's got 30k per minute, which is a pretty healthy income, but you could help Arthuro out as well. Arthuro could be deploying some things as well. Ooh, Rift generator on top of the Venoms. He gets them all. One big strike. Finds them and knocks them down. The air tower goes down, and he calls it out with the beacon so that everyone can see it. He's like, look here, I'm calling my shot, and that is it. He lands the shot, and that is a goodbye as the Rift generator opens a wormhole into the cold dark of space. And that is the end of those Venoms. 20 grand, 40 grand worth of Venoms just evaporated into the vacuum of space, torn to pieces And it looks like David is going to be forced to bring at least part of his fleet home. He's got a lot of other ships elsewhere on the map. A small group of 4 or 5 packs. I guess those 2 groups together are probably 9 or 10 packs in the north. Tripod's just going to be trying to burst down the front door. You get everything that you can, and I guess you leave the husks behind because there's nothing else that you can do. But did this open up enough of an opportunity? Stasis shield on the Rift Generator, by the way, as well. This might have opened up enough of an opportunity to swing in the side. They actually could have completely cleaned out Arthuro if they would have sent a couple of units over the dead space from Outlaw's base to Arthuro's base. Tripods get cleaned up. Is it worth reclaiming the tripod husk? There's so many on the ground, but it's like, does it even matter? All of those tripods are just kind of useless compared to the air power. I guess if you could get them in the back door with a wormhole, then you could do some pretty massive damage. Something just collapsed there. The other thing is can you get a single mothership shot off? Because if you could get a mothership catalyst cannon to chain, then you could pretty easily wipe out an entire base. And with bases spread out all around the map like this, it wouldn't end the game, but it would open up another quadrant of the map. And Arthuro, I mean, Arthuro's base is pretty much just open. Someone could swing in there and knock that down without too much trouble. I say without too much trouble. The guy has like 80 Venoms that he could send in to defend it. But without too much trouble, relatively speaking, to like everything else in this game. It's like, are you going to fight 800 packs, or are you going to try and go into this one base, which is largely undefended by comparison? And, well, Devastator warships are going to be showing up, an Eradicator Hexapod as well. Venoms are being slaughtered, or tripods are being slaughtered on the ground by the Venoms in the sky. The Planetary Assault Carriers being cleaned up one by one, and they tried to go for the late transition into the base. We'll see if it works. Trying to maintain some kind of build radius, and is David just going to be able to deploy so many structures that he wastes their time? I guess you can also kill the Tib spikes, which I'm not sure how much the 10 credits per second is really adding up in this kind of a game where players have 35k per minute of income. Rift Generator, 1 minute on the clock until JUDpowr has his Rift Generator ready to go, and then it's 2.5 and 3.5 minutes for David and Outlaw. In this case, the double Rift Generator might sort of be the winning move. What wins you the game in the end is the double Rift Generator above all else. Absolutely ludicrous amounts of firepower. Double drone ship, triple drone ship, but the Venoms just annihilate them. No hope for those drone ships to expand to that location. Tripod's trying to escape, but it is just not going to happen. And 3 tripods remain. I mean, I guess you just kill the Tib spikes, and that's all that you can hope to do. Where are the forces of Outlaw? I feel like Outlaw used to have a ton of packs. Did they just get picked off one by the Venoms? Outlaw's air armada is gone. Ion Storm is here. It is well in advance of the Rift Generator, and the Venoms are trying to find a blank spot on the map where there is no vision from the other team. Rift Generator, 1 minute until David has his, but of course, JUDpowr is just waiting to utilize his. Planetary Assault Carriers don't move. Lightning Spike gets deployed and kills off the signal transmitter, which does remove some things. Ooh, if he had vision on these Venoms, I think that would be the spot of the Rift Generator. Kill the Venoms and kill one of the air towers as well. Arthuro has only a measly 6k per minute, but it almost doesn't matter because his ally has so many air units that you can have sort of as long as you want to rebuild. No scan to reveal the location. Rift generator fires off. It manages to open the door for the tripods to walk in, but this is not like the assaults of before. These tripods are mostly unattended. They just don't have a lot to follow up behind them. They are going to be able to go for the Rift generator, which fires off smack dab in the middle of these Mechapeds, annihilating a number of them. It's Mechapeds just going crazy, but they don't even get to join in the fight because they get sniped in the middle of the map by the Rift generator, which does die. I cannot believe those tripods were able to kill the Rift generator before the packs killed the tripods. And now 20 seconds until the next Rift generator. Outlaw is going to be able to stall out the game with his Rift generator, and I assume there is another Rift generator queued up by David. Queued up somewhere. He's building it somewhere. David has to get that Rift generator back online, but it's going to be like the full 7 minutes until it's ready to go. And with so much production spread out all over the map, you can't just Rift generate one army, although this would be a pretty good spot to use it, right in the middle of this traveling army. If you get the Venoms as well, that's the icing on the cake. JUDpowr calls his shot. I don't know that that's the spot for Outlaw to use his... It's on the other side of the map. Rift generator, it seems a little late. It seems a little behind the army, but I think he got the Venoms. He got the Venoms as he clears out. No, he didn't. He didn't get the Venoms. The Venoms dodged. What did he even get with that Rift generator? I'm not 100% sure. The transition from air to ground has happened, but the Rift generator is not back up and running for David. So even when David completes his Rift generator, there's still 2 more Rift generators that are going to fire off before his lands. The Planetary Assault Carrier Assault has begun, and this is... You have to give it to them. This is not something you see very often. This is... This might be screenshot territory for the game box art. Just infinite planetary assault carriers. A true planetary assault. As the power is offline, power plants are sniped one after the other, and the Ion Storm is unleashed. Arthuro and David, not always the strongest, but they're clearing out one section of the map. It's not the end of the game, unless it's just the writing on the wall that sends JUDpowr and Outlaw out of the game. But one section of the map does not end the game. These players are spread out to the 4 corners. They have claimed as much territory as they can for themselves. Gunwalkers, Mechapeds, and Plasma and Disc batteries will clear the skies. And David has made his assault. He didn't even clear it. He didn't even totally clear it. There's still build radius there. And it turns out the worst thing you can do in this game is attack, because then your entire army gets deleted by a whole bunch of stuff that swings in out of nowhere. And maybe ground army is going to be the end of all things. That'll be where the real battle is won, is actually on the ground somehow and not in the sky. The spend at the end of this game is going to be absolutely insane. David at 870,000 total resources gathered, which means in about 3 minutes, he will be at 1 million resources gathered, which I think is going to kind of break the overlay. I think the numbers will start overlapping because the overlay is not designed to handle that much cash. So it might reposition the numbers in a spot that's weird. I don't know. Double Evil, what's going to happen to the overlay when we hit 1 million resources gathered? By the way, JUDpowr and Outlaw also pretty close to that number. David bringing in his air armada for the defense. Mechapeds being destroyed on the ground. Tripods making it as far into the opponent's base as they possibly can, but they're also falling one by one. Phase saving some of them, and the Mechapeds with discs are just blasting units out of the sky, but there's just so much stuff in the sky. A little bit of everything coming from everywhere as the tripods get eliminated slowly but surely. One rift generator down, one rift generator back up. Outlaw loses his, David gains his second. The tripod will fall. Eventually, all things fall. As we cross the 40-minute mark and we close in 940,000 resources gathered by David. 2 last tripods trying to make their way through the middle of the map. And maybe it's a trap. Maybe it was all a bait. As Arthuro goes for some engineer caps of these tripods to try to hold off the ground army. Planetary assault carriers. The mechapeds on the side, the heroic disc mecha has actually been doing absolutely massive damage. This one heroic disc mecha, I wish we could see the kill count, because he's probably killed like a dozen planetary assault carriers and devastator warships, just dodging their shots, firing blast after blast. And in the end, it's just another day on the island. Arthuro and David standing strong. EMPs now coming in to hold some units in place so that the planetary assault carriers can actually finish them off. That might have been the heroic mechapede that just went down, caught by the EMP. Rift generator fires off. On top of everything, he finds the moment to use it. And so many planetary assault carriers go down. Still, so many manage to escape with 10 or 20% HP. The front door has been broken for perhaps the 10th time in this game. 10 seconds on the nuke. It can take out a big chunk of this army, funneled into a choke, tightly bound and all wrapped up together. One of David's bases has been broken. And actually, the numbers look great. 1 million total resources gathered. The nuke fires off. It finds its mark. But it just doesn't matter. The army doesn't get stopped, but this isn't the end of the game. 35K in the bank for Outlaw number 1. He's got enough money to rebuild his Rift generator if he so chooses. JUDpowr sitting at only 2K in the bank. They may not even be able to clear out this last section of the base. There's always a little section of the base that you just can't quite get to. Pure chaos and insanity in these late game fights from these players. Mechapeds streaming across the map. This is also probably the stage where the Kane's Wrath, the Sage engine, just doesn't always handle all of the units together. I've noticed sometimes in these big, gigantic games, stuff that's on like auto move, like harvesters, which are rarely controlled, will just sometimes lock up, and you'll realize all of your harvesters have just frozen in place. I guess that's not happening as much here because none of these Tiberium fields are ever like truly empty. There's always another Tiberium field to auto-harvest to. But finally, Arthuro has been defeated. David, with over 1 million resources gathered, is now the only player left on his team. The nuke is eliminated. His Rift generator is offline as well. And it's a lot of red on the map, but it's versus green and purple. Arthuro had his chance, and his Venoms were able to make a big impact, but I don't think it was able to win the game at the end of all things. If it does win the game, it'll be up to David to make it happen. And David, who has 35K per minute, is just drawing a zero on his bank account. That's like when you hear about someone who's made like $250 million over their lifetime, but they're like they're like $10 million in debt. And you're like, what did you do with that $250 million? And turns out you can spend money if you are really bad at money. You can spend it on just about anything. And in this case, David, 33K per minute, and he's still got zero in the bank account. He's spending every single dollar just trying to survive. And one of the advantages of having two people is you got four hands, you got two attention spans that you can send in different directions. And a mastermind calls in, or caps a coneyard, comes in, gets the coneyard, will be able to deny any further build radius in this base. Allows the build radius to expand. The portal comes in, and maybe an engineer will pop on out. As the base of David falls apart, he loses the nod MCV. And wait, did JUDpowr, I think JUDpowr was the one who also got the GDI, the Zocom MCV. So JUDpowr, in theory, now at one point had control of all three of the races, all three factions in the game. He had Zocom, he had Skrin, and he has Marked of Kane under his control. I think he lost all of the Zocom stuff, though, so he doesn't actually have any of it now. He didn't have all three at the same time, unfortunately, for him. But JUDpowr, now he's got a Zocom, or a Marked of Kane MCV. And he calls his shot. What is he beaconing over here? Is he gonna, like, teleport in? He's like, hey, there's a base over there. Surely they know about this base up here, right? Do they know about this base up here? We're past the 45-minute mark. We're past the $1 million mark. That's a lot of Tiberium harvesting that has happened in this game. And yep, it looks like they do know about the two remaining bases. It actually wasn't the Air Forces. I thought it was going to be the Planetary assault carriers that got the win. But these disc mechas have been absolutely shredding. Gunwalkers with the shields, Tripons with the shields, disc mechas have just been absolutely shredding. And it turns out that is better than the Skrin Air Armada. We are done. We did it. 900K and 924,000 total resources gathered, courtesy of Outlaw and the other guy. JUDpowr and Outlaw both climbing over 900K total resources gathered, but not enough to crack that 1 million mark. 48-minute game, and it looks like everybody, LoginBugZero and Shrapnel, they're the ones who did not stay in the game to watch it end, and everyone else just stayed in the game. Even if they got eliminated, they stayed in to watch it end. Planetary assault carriers, absolutely massive amounts. Welcome to the harvest. We went from 4v4, and I think this is going to feel a lot more calm, a lot more collected, as we have spawning on the left side the red Traveler 59. This is Kauz-IV. Their teammate. As the orange Reaper 17. Okay, this is Shwan. An interesting combination of Traveler 59 and Reaper 17. You have a couple of gaps in your arsenals on both sides, but I think together they should be pretty darn well suited for it. Meanwhile, on the right side, plain as the cyan, this is all Mr. Rainer can. I don't know what that name is. And this is Alabaster. Alabaster, much easier to say. Skrin and Nod are the faction choices here on the other side of the map. Descent Rush coming out in the middle. Kauz going for those early game descents. He's got the fast leg descents because he is Traveler 59. We'll see if he's actually able to do anything with them. Harvesters open and exposed. Where's the Gunwalker? Nothing here. Buzzers are a little bit behind. There's no Shredder turret. There's the Buzzer Hive. Power down. One Harvester down. Huge reset here. And the Foundry is exposed as well. That crane gets sold off immediately. The Buzzers get killed. And even the power plant is exposed. The Gunwalker nowhere in sight. And a huge reset to the build for Alabaster. Completely gutted here as he starts off strong and then falls apart. The Nod power plant as well, just out of range of that Shredder turret. Harvester's going to be revealed, down on health. Shredder turret not coming in. Everything going down. It's up to the Buzzer Hive once again, and it's up to the Descents to get out of range of that Buzzer Hive. They're going for the Tib Spike, as the fast leg Descents have absolutely disrupted the beginning of the game. Alabaster and Almarine are just knocked back by a bit. They aren't out of the game by any means, and the next 2 minutes matter even more. But this is given a guaranteed great opener for Kauz and Shwan. When you hit your opponent like this, as long as you like keep eyes on them to make sure that they haven't committed an all-in after this and they aren't sending absolutely everything across the map, it means that your first 5 minutes are kind of free. We're 3 minutes into the game. The economy is looking really solid on the left side of the map, but it's also looking pretty good on the right side of the map. Almarine is fine, maybe a little bit behind that of the Scrin folks, but in terms of his Harvester numbers, he's doing okay. One Harvester down, delay on additional Harvesters. It means Alabaster's income is a little bit lower, but again, he's going to be able to bounce back as long as he can keep an eye on his opponent. And we'll see if he's ready for these Seeker tanks. Coming in, one buggy is here. A couple of Scorps would help with this defense considerably. Harvester takes a lot of damage. Second Harvester on the front line. Couple of rocket squads are here. More Seeker tanks coming in. A lightning spike as well. This could be a lot of Seeker tanks going down just to get one Harvester. 3 Seeker tanks very low on health. One falls. A second one is eliminated. Shields come in, and the first Harvester just now dies. 30 seconds after the attack starts, the fight is mostly dead Seeker tanks, not dead Harvesters. 1, 2 more Seeker tanks dying on exit. 3 more Seeker tanks die on exit. That defense, it wasn't perfect, but it was close to perfect. Losing the Tib Spikes would be annoying. Only one of them goes down for now. But again, this is free if you're on the left side of the map. No attacks, nothing to worry about. Your opponents were focused on rebuilding their Harvesters and getting their defenses up. This is a free early game. The first 5 minutes, easy expansions, lots of Harvesters for Kauz and Shwan. They're both able to get things rolling, and now this is where things have the opportunity to flip around. Now that Alabaster and Almarine have been able to refocus their efforts, they've actually got some ground units, so are Kauz and Shwan aware of this? It looks like they are. They've spotted the army moving out. Disintegrators are here on the other side of the map. EMP lands perfectly, buying even more time. And it's a flame tank that has been spotted on the north side of the map. This could spell disaster if it manages to sneak in a back door. And that is a Nod flame tank. It's not a Black Hand flame tank, but that means it could be potentially stealthed at a later point in the game. Lightning Spike comes in from Alabaster, able to help push these forces back. And this has bought a ton of time for Kauz and Shwan, but what do they have to show for it? They've got a lot of economy, a lot of income per minute, but they don't have a lot of units on the ground. This is just a full parade push across the bottom for Alabaster. He's got Descents coming in. And again, what is there on the ground to show for it? Kauz may need a big assist from Shwan. The opening couple of minutes looked good, but can you survive the next wave that's coming in? Descent's going to be getting a free harvester in the south. Alabaster not wanting to commit everything into the attack. Rocket squads shouldn't be able to get the kill here. Mechapedes are a good choice for Kauz. He's able to clean up the attack for now. Flame tanks get spotted, but are they stopped? Seeker tank gets the eyes on them. Tripods chase them away from the north. The nerve center may pay the price. One flame tank down. The second one gets the nerve center, and it goes down as well. Alabaster finds the Mechapedes in the south. Is everyone just going to stabilize on 2 bases? It looks like the answer might be yes. Both teams had their opportunities. Little attacks here and there. Able to attack and do some damage, but not end the game. So I think we're just gonna have an agreement. Everyone is just kind of chilling out for a minute. Everyone just calm down. Don't worry about it too much. Avatar's stepping out. 2 tripods on the front line. Is this enough to actually break him? Alabaster moving in. This is the army that Kauz needed to keep an eye on. Slowfield comes in. He sees it. But what does he have moving in? All of his Mechapedes are out of position. Is there anything that can be gained here? Harvesters are on the front line. 1 harvester going down. Tripods and Mechapedes, he might just be able to pull this army apart, cut it down piece by piece. The phase saves 2 more harvesters. Those gunwalkers wasting their shots, shooting at basically nothing as the Mechapedes and the tripods come in, doing massive damage to the army. Buzzer hives cutting down those disintegrators, and Alabaster's attack just comes to nothing. I think 1 harvester was his total kill count for that entire army. Tripods go down in the north. Alabaster has defended back at home. Barracks comes in on top of the barracks that was already there. You've got that in your mind. You're like, okay, I need a barracks for the engineers, and you queue up a barracks not realizing that there's another barracks right next to it. Buzzer swarm called in moments too late. Moments too late. Well, goodbye to those husks. One of them was claimed. Allmarine managing to get 1 tripod on his side. And yeah, both teams are just kind of taking a break, taking a pause, and they're saying, hey, we're going to build up. We're going to chill out for a minute. A couple of Mechapedes in the back door. I guess if they're not dealt with, they could cause some problems. Redeemer and Eradicator Hexapod out onto the front line. Both of them, are they both stealthed? Is there a stealth field nearby, or were they stealth fielded? And Kauz or Shwan just called in their Eradicator. Harvesters could be under threat. These shard mechas have not been dealt with. The obelisk is here, and the phase comes in to save the harvesters. So once again, the harvesters are not really under much of a threat. I guess the ones that aren't phased are under threat. Alabaster and Allmarine able to take over the middle of the map. They're chewing away at this green Tiberium, but are they going to be able to actually turn it into an army? Because it's one thing to have control of the middle of the map for a minute, and it's another thing to actually turn that into an army. Oftentimes we see a player move into the middle of the map, they take what looks like a big chunk of the green Tiberium, and then they just spend all of that money trying to hold the middle of the map, and they don't have really anything to show for it. All of that money that they just boosted their economy with just turned into more time. Rage Gen fires off, and these are fully charged up tripods. 1 tripod goes down, and 1 corruptor gets eliminated. Stealth on this Eradicator. 3 tripods go down, immediately blasted and then zipped away. Now, there is a barracks on the front line. All of those husks can be reclaimed, but that was a nice little 1-2 punch. The Rage Generator followed by the stealthed Eradicator Hexapod to get the crush on those tripods. Spectre artillery from the other shot. The shots land from the other side. The shots land. And the tripods are actually drawing the Spectre artillery fire into that husk. Nope. They go for the corruptor. They get the engineer by accident. And 2 gunwalkers in the back line will find an opportunity to attack a power plant, but not do much more than that. Vision gained there, but the mastermind survives the attack. The mastermind for Alabaster still here, happy, just waiting. Tripod's getting cut down, and the husks get eliminated as well. Well, one of the husks does at least. The other husk does fall. Spectre artillery are so good. And this is a lot of them. All Marine has so many on the front line. Would be great to see some Vertigo bombers. Venom's coming in. He is Nod, so he does have laser capacitors. He can go for that upgrade. Mind control, not going to be much use if everything goes down. Overlord's Wrath gets called in. The Venoms may be giving their life, but that may be a worthy cause to die for, is killing off those cultists. One Spectre artillery gets caught and killed. Stasis chamber, stasis shield manages to catch the rest of those cultists. And with this many tripods moving in, I think that's more tripods than there are cultists. So that'll be the end of the cultists when they come out of that stasis. Stasis shield fires off from the other side, locks down most of those tripods, and the cultists come back online. Kauz has been defeated, leaving Shwan alone, and everything dies on the front line. Alabaster and All Marine, slowly but surely, they might be carving away at the front line. We never got to see the big army clash. We never got to see the big fight. But that will do it for that game. Welcome to Tiberium Rift, aka Twisted Rift, for a third Kane's Wrath game of the day. Spawning in the top left-hand corner. This is First Impact. And we got the bonus zoom in on this map. Meanwhile, on the right side, playing the blue, playing the Nod. This is all Mariner Kane. Again, I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's name, but we're gonna do something a little bit dangerous here. We're gonna swap our overlays to the correct one. Hey, I think it worked. But we've got ourselves First Impact and all Mariner Kane here in a 1v1. Nod v GDI. The classic matchup, I guess, from even Tiberium Wars. All the way back to the beginning of Command & Conquer, Nod and GDI have been going at it against each other. A 1v1 seems, I was going to say so calm, but now we've got 2 war factories before refineries. Is this an MCV cell? Look at that. Wow, it has been a long time. How is the scouting from the other side? First Impact. Nothing. He's got no idea at all. Wow, he is completely blind. We'll see. We'll see how this works. This is Kane's Wrath, so things can turn around quite quickly. I don't know if this is going to work out. The nice thing is you've got the 2 war factories. You can sell one of them off and rebuild your MCV. As long as you do some damage, you will be able to transition out of it. It is all harvesters! Super greed mode for First Impact. And in this case, all Mariner Kane did not go ultra attack mode. He did not send everything across the map right as it was spawning in. He was not trying to kill harvesters right from the beginning. So this is super greed mode. First Impact has gone for like 6 harvesters right away. First harvester goes down. Predator tank or something should be on the way, but he needs more cash in the bank. Some of his harvesters in the middle of the map trying to steal that blue Tiberium, getting routed to the harvester, to the refinery that's already full. And no, the tragedy of errors stacks up. First Impact thinking everything is fine and loses basically every single harvester to this attack. The attack bike's getting chipped away at by the watchtowers one by one, getting cut down. It's just up to the buggies, but there's still 3 bikes or so to deal the damage to these harvesters. Good night, sweet prince, as Impact has $2 grand in the bank and 1 harvester on the field. And that is going to be the cards that he has to fight this out tooth and nail. The bikes are getting targeted down pretty efficiently, but there's still 2 that remain. So until those 2 bikes go down, it is not safe for any harvester to resume work. The Predator tank steps out, and the bad rally point sends the harvester down south instead of directly into the field to harvest Tiberium. He gets sent south. The bikes have almost been cleaned up. As I say that, another bike rocks up to the fight, and the harvester has survived, but the Predator tank has not. 1 more bike into the fight, and it's going to be now up to the buggies. They may not do a lot of damage, but there's a lot of buggies here, and that is it. First Impact with basically no cash left in the bank. He's got maybe 1 more chance at this. Yeah, another harvester steps out. The tib spike really keeping him in this game as more and more bikes come up. If watchtowers could rank up, then the watchtowers would probably be heroic at this point, doing just massive damage to these bikes. Watchtowers trained on those bikes, attacking them consistently, but it just doesn't matter when more and more bikes come across the map. If 1 harvester could survive, First Impact might be able to transition out of this. But if every harvester goes down, there's just nothing you can do. Kane manages to get the win with the all-in. Isn't there a pit bull? Was there a pit bull down there? If he had managed to bring that pit bull back with the Predator tank and the watchtowers, maybe he could have held the line. But I think the Predator tank was maybe too far away. I mean, there's nothing left, so you don't have to keep throwing bikes into the attack. You can wait a minute. If the watchtowers don't get sold off, then perhaps the power plant could be sold off. Okay, watchtowers going down. There's 4 or 5 bikes here, so they are able to knock down buildings fairly quickly. First Impact, not even building anything. Okay, there we go. GG gets called, and First Impact has been defeated. The map name was wrong for that, but that was a very nice all-in from Kane, managing to channel early, I don't know, 2010s Kane's Wrath, some bike rush action going on, both Bike Rush the player and also Bike Rush the strategy. And it manages to work out